The crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council had never witnessed such silence. Ambassador Zethkar of the Valdorian Empire shifted nervously in his biopod, his tentacles twitching as he stared at the empty human delegation seats. The other, representatives, beings from across 17 star systems, maintained their composure, but the absence was deafening. "Perhaps," wheezed Chancellor Morthul through his breathing apparatus, "the humans have finally accepted their place in the cosmic hierarchy." 3 cycles had passed since the Council's unanimous decision to quarantine the Sol system. Earth's stubborn refusal to comply with galactic standard protocols had forced their hand. The humans' insistence on maintaining their barbaric military forces, their rejection of neural compliance chips, and their outright mockery of the Council's authority had become intolerable. The quarantine had been swift and decisive. Energy barriers surrounded the Sol system, cutting off all trade, communication, and travel. The humans would learn their lesson, the Council had reasoned. They would beg for readmission, accept the neural chips, and dissolve their military as required by Galactic Law 47B. But the humans had gone silent. "Sir," whispered Aide Velari to the Chancellor, her voice trembling, "we're receiving an incoming transmission." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a human woman with steel-gray eyes and battle scars crossing her weathered face. She wore no ceremonial robes, no diplomatic insignia, just a simple black uniform with a single star on her collar. "I am Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Corps," she announced, her voice carrying across the chamber with quiet authority. "I come before this council not as a supplicant, but as a messenger." Chancellor Morthul's breathing. Apparatus wheezed in indignation. "Human, you have no right to—" Silence. The word cut through the chamber like a blade. Admiral Chen's eyes never wavered. "For 3 years, you have held my people prisoner in their own system. You called it a quarantine. We called it an act of war." The council members exchanged glances. War? The humans had no interstellar capabilities beyond their single system. Their technology was primitive, their numbers insignificant compared to the galactic population. "Your quarantine has ended," Chen continued. "Not because you chose to lift it, but because we chose to break it." "Impossible," hissed Ambassador Zethkar. "The energy barriers are impenetrable. Your ships cannot—" "Our ships?" Chen's scarred lips curved into something that might have been a smile. "Who said anything about ships?" The hologram shifted, showing star charts that made several council members gasp. Red markers indicated the locations of every quarantine station, every council military depot, every administrative center within 50 light-years of Earth. "While you debated our fate," Chen said, "we learned. We adapted. You taught us that the galaxy operates on fear, on the assumption that superior technology equals absolute power. You were wrong." The display changed again. This time it showed footage from Quarantine Station Omega-7. The massive orbital fortress, once considered impregnable, now drifted as a lifeless hulk. Its defensive shields were intact, its weapon systems undamaged, but every living being aboard was gone. "How?" whispered Chancellor Morthul. "You underestimated human creativity," Chen replied. "You assumed we would try to break through your barriers with brute force. Instead, we went around them, through them, inside them." More footage played across the hologram. Council ships found with their crews mysteriously absent. Administrative, Centers evacuated without explanation. Military commanders discovered in their sealed chambers, alive but catatonic, their memories wiped clean. For 3 years we have been ghosts in your machines, Chen continued. Shadows in your corridors. We learned your languages, your customs, your fears. We discovered that for all your advanced technology, you have one critical weakness. She paused, letting the silence stretch. You forgot how to fight. Ambassador Zethkar's tentacles writhed in fury. This is madness! You cannot threaten the entire Galactic Council. We number in the trillions across 17 systems. And yet, Chen said softly, here you sit, listening to one human on a transmission that your best security systems cannot trace or block. The truth of those words sent ripples of unease through the chamber. Their communication networks, protected by quantum encryption and psionic barriers, should have been impervious to human interference. What do you want? Chancellor Morthul asked, his voice barely a whisper. Justice, Chen replied. Reparations for 3 years of illegal imprisonment, formal recognition of human sovereignty, and most importantly, her eyes hardened, a guarantee that this council will never again mistake mercy for weakness. The display shifted one final time, showing real-time surveillance of the council chamber itself. Every representative saw themselves on screen, saw their private aid stations, their security details, their supposedly secure communication channels. You have 48 standard hours to deliberate, Chen announced. At the end of that time, you will vote to grant our demands, or you will discover that human patience, like human creativity, has its limits. The transmission ended, leaving the chamber in absolute silence. Chancellor Morthul stared at the empty holographic space, his breathing apparatus struggling to process the filtered atmosphere. Around him, the most powerful beings in the galaxy sat in stunned quiet. Finally, Aid Valari spoke, her voice barely audible. Sir, what are your orders? The Chancellor looked around the chamber one more time, noting the fear in every representative's eyes, the way they all kept glancing at the surveillance displays that should not have existed. Call the vote, he whispered. The Galactic Council, for the first time in its 1,000-year history, had learned what it meant to be afraid.